Hello and welcome back. I had a thought today while I was at work. I'm always thinking when I'm at work, and to be honest, my mind almost never stops. But then I meet a lot of people who are like that. But in any event, I thought about this saying that I always hear, and I've said it myself, be careful what you wish for. And I thought about that and said, I think it should be mindful of the words that we say. And I said, because words have wings. They're like birds. Once you release them out there, you really have no control of the direction of them. And it depends on where they land, how they land, how you set them. So, how you set them. So, with that said, and it's a lesson for me as well, be mindful of our words. So, with that, I'm going to read a scripture, one that I don't normally read that much, when I think about words. There are so many words or so many scriptures that talk to us about our words and the power of our words and what our words can do and the seeds that they sow. But in Proverbs 17 and 27, it says, He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. And I said to myself when I read that this morning, I don't spare my words a lot, and there are a lot of times I think that I'm really smart, or people will tell me you're so this or you're so that, or when I'm around people who are just speaking and it's awesome and they're going on and on and on, I'm thinking, wow, they are. And then there are times it's like, can they be quiet? Which means there are times that people are going, can she be quiet? And I think to myself, the scripture says, a man that spareth, a man who has knowledge spareth his words. And I got to thinking, what does that look like? What does it look like when you spare your words, even though you know a thing? Can it be that if you're in a group or you're with another person and you know something, that you give the other person time to get their thought process going? Or even if you give them a push, you still step back and you give them room to speak? What does it look like when you're sparing your knowledge? Because we all want to look intelligent, we want to sound intelligent, and you want truth to be behind that. Because some people can speak really well, or um, they can they can repeat something that they heard, and they can have so much passion and energy behind it, but there is empty after that. There's no substance. Not necessarily because they didn't go through what they're talking about, not because they didn't research what they're talking about, but a lot of times when you are pulling something out of the air from the birds that was flying and you are repeating it, you know how to make it probably sound better. But there are times when there are people who I truly believe, because I've had to practice it and I began doing it more naturally, just pulling back, just allowing someone else. And allow is too strong of a word because it implies something, but I'm way more comfortable with being in the presence of people who, like me, don't always have all the answers. And then again, they may know a thing. And I'm learning to be patient and go, okay, what do you think about this? And maybe you have a thought and you can't expound on it right now. But I respect you enough. Or respect don't even have to come into play. I'm going to be quiet, not because I don't know the answer, not because I'm not aware of how to handle a situation, not because I don't need to know your thoughts or the other person's thoughts, but I'm going to be quiet because I do want to know what somebody else is thinking. And sometimes the person who has the most knowledge needs to know how to quiet down, and so I want to be that person. I want to spare my words sometime and give room to somebody else. And then on the tail end, it says something else that was interesting to me. It says, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. And I'm going to have to spend more time in that, because to know a thing is one thing and to understand something is a whole different thing. And there are plenty of times in my life I think I understand a situation, I understand a person, I understand the circumstances that's going on. And I have to tell you, there are a lot of times I'm not right. There are a lot of times I didn't see pieces of the puzzle. I thought it was in front of me. I might have been trying to squeeze some things to fit together. But I didn't understand. And as a result, you make the wrong decisions. You get to a place where you're even saying the wrong thing. You're reacting in a way that doesn't line up with the situation because you had no understanding. And again, guilty. I don't think there's a day that goes by that I need to work on sparing my words, even if they're good words. There are times when enough is enough. You look great. That's it. You don't have to go into detail about the tie or the shoes or the this or the that. You could tell that I'm always letting men know how they look. I'm a woman. I appreciate my sisters, but when I see somebody and I have no problem and I go all the way. And there are times, even with that, pull back. So I'm going to spare my words, but I also want to be in a position where understanding. I want to be a person and I want to be around people who understand how important it is to understand something before you respond, before you react. So once again, I'm going to revisit that sentence. It says, a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. And I don't know about you, but I bet you if we looked in the dictionary and we looked up the word excellent, we would want to identify with what that definition means. So today I just encourage you to think about it, to spare your words, even if they are words that are informing, if they're words that are encouraging, uplifting, if they're words of truth, if they're words of condemning, if there are words of altercation. Like you sometimes we have to address things, but let's find a few words. Let's take 15 words instead of 20 words, and then let's try to be better at understanding things before we give those said words. So with that all said, I wish you well. And as I said in my first post, it's important that you do that for people. You wish them well, in spite of everything, because what you put out is what you get back. And there's a saying and there's a scripture for it, and there's an everything. Remember, in every religion they kind of piggyback on each other, but it truly is true. Whatever you dig for somebody else, that very hole you're digging for yourself. So I wish you well, and my hope is that you're wishing well for me. Thank you and have a great day.